Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, today we're going to be up in the sky, going from station to station. We're going to be enacting tycoons. Today we're taking a look at Grand Central Skyport. This is from 25th Century Games. Let me show you how it works. I'll see you on the other side. At the beginning of the game, you're going to select a city that gives you a player token, nice acrylic one from New York, Tokyo, London, or Paris. And like if you select New York, you'll also get a starting skyport, which has 2 different stations and 2 different airships. What you're trying to do is build up the skyport that scores the most points. On your turn, you're going to play a card from your hand to either the most right or left side of your skyport, like this. Then it's going to have an ability that you must do, like move left or right 2 to 3 spaces. So I go 1, 2. So it's going to go in between these ones, just like this. Now why did I do that? Because this one is yellow, this station is yellow. So this is good because this now links with this, which gets me a star, this little icon here, which is a point. At the end of the game, I'm going to get a point 1 times every yellow card I have in this one big column here, because you're trying to sort of collect colors and link them to the right colored station. But the cards you play also tell you how far you'll move on the rondel. Now you can move up to that number. I can move up to 3, so I could go 1, 2, or 3 spaces clockwise. And let's say I go 2. Some spaces you can choose between the card that's there or an action, like taking this station and adding that station to try to score with red and orange colors a little bit later. But in this case, I'm going to take this card, and then this will get refilled, and then it will be the next player's turn. Now you always have 2 cards in your hand, at least 2. There's some abilities that you have more, but you'll pick one of those 2 to play. In this case, I'm going to play the one I just played. This says move left or right by 3 spaces. So great. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to place it in between this like this. But anytime after the movement, if you have same colors together, well, they combine. And this is great too, because now here I'm going to have this point linked to this. And it's going to be 1 times the amount of cards, 2. So at this point, I have 2 points. But there's ways to get more points, and we'll show you that in a moment. Because some of the spots allow you to take different types of tycoons. And there's 5 different types of tycoons, all with different types of abilities and scoring objectives. Some of them depend on the color of card that you play. Some of them have different icons that allow you to do different things, like move further on the rondel. Some of them allow you to break the rules of placement, like placing it right next to it. But again, scoring for certain types of icons and things on the cards at the end of the game, like crates and clocks and tickets. For example, this one allows me to insert airships to the left or right of this station because they attach to a bottom of the station. But look at this. Now I have 2 icons here. So now at the end of the game, I'm going to get 2 times these 2 cards of the same color that's linked here. So that's going to be 4 points. And later on during the game, if I get this one, that's 1, 2. So it's 1, 2, 3 times 3. Now you're up to 9 points there. So you can see you can get the multipliers up pretty quickly, and that's what you're trying to do. Now you notice there's different icons like clocks and tickets, and sometimes there'll be crates and such. And that's great because there's a spot on the board that when you go there and you take this card, if you have a complete set, you get this, which is the most points, 7. And then it goes down as people get there slower than you. And if you end up going to this spot, not only do you get the card, but if you have a complete set of one of all the colors, you get this, which starts at 9 points and goes down. Sometimes you can immediately move a lane that matches the color of this card, like orange, 1 to 2 spaces. So sometimes, depending on which card's on the board, different things will happen. And sometimes you'll be getting stations instead of cards, adding those to your skyport. And for example, adding this on your next turn, and on a future turn, maybe adding this. That allows us to move 1 or 2 spaces to the left or right. And so now I'm going to be trying to score purple there. Some cards allow you to swap with any lane. And that's great, because now I could swap with this blue one, putting this here, and now that those are together, they'll merge, making this one 2 cards, where I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, so you've got 4 icons and 2 cards. That's already 8 points because I got purple being scored on both sides. That's pretty much what you're doing. At the end of the game, you're trying to have the most points, as I showed, and that's pretty much Grand Central Skyport. All right, there's a very high-level look at Grand Central Skyport. Definitely did not show you all the rules or all the cards there. First of all, gorgeous art to look at. Andrew Bosley art. He does amazing work, and it looks great here. I like the rondel with multiple levels of depth. So there's a lot to think about here with how simple the game is. You're going to take a card, or you're going to use an action. So sometimes you're doing one of the both. Sometimes you're actually able to do both of those on the rondel. Sometimes you're going to be moving a color lane of this card 1 and 2 spaces because I went to that spot at the right time and was able to manipulate my tableau and my Skyport specific ways. There's a lot of the things here where there's a lot of sort of strategies in the game that aren't obvious the first couple times you play them, but as you play the game, you'll find the right times to do the right things, like getting the right station at the right time, or enacting those specific spots on the board that allow you to manipulate your Skyport and things like that. There's a lot of opportunities for strategies here that are very nuanced in play and that you don't see sort of right away in this game. It has a lot of depth. I like that you're playing a card for its color, ability, and or movement. So there's multi-use cards there. You're playing the card, you're looking at it, and you're going, okay, I'm going to move this 3 times, up to 2 or 3 to the right or left. And then I'm going to now be able to move that much. It's interesting that it's the ability, which changes your tableau, hopefully changes your scoring, but then that also allows you to then move a certain amount, up to a certain amount of spots on that board. And so you're thinking about a lot on the turn, a little bit more on that on later. I like that you're trying to line up colors adjacent to each other that are the same, so you can sort of merge them together. That's like the name of the game, is trying to get large columns of the same color, and then get a tycoon to those stations and try to get as many points as you can on there. The tycoons add a lot of crunchiness and flexibility to the game. So a lot of things of like, hey, if you have these icons, you'll get extra points. Or if you have these ticket icons, you can move further on the rondel. Those types of things are cool. They let you break the rules of the game, but it also gives you some flexibility. Like there's one of them that allows you to say, hey, place your card next to the station this tycoon's in, and then enact its ability. Gives you more flexibility on placement. So they really allow you to change a lot about the game, but also gives you some end game focus. I like that they sort of like put both of those two types of things together with those. So overall, the game is, it seems like a basic rondel game, and it is. I'm not saying this is some heavy game, but there's a lot to think about there. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about could be a negative for some, but part of the reason, so normally in rondel games, you move around a rondel, you get something like some sort of resource or take an action, and then you do something with that, and then it's like the next turn. It's almost backwards. To put that on its head, where you're playing a card, you're doing an ability that's completely changing your Skyport, which is going to change what you want to do next. Then you're going to move on the rondel based upon what you played, then gain an action and or a card, and then that card is something that you're hoping to plan for the next turn or the turn after that. And it might seem like not that big a difference, but it really is, because in rondel games, normally when you do the other thing, you're still thinking like 2 or 3 turns ahead. Okay, I'm going to go here, I'll get this, I'll do this, next turn I'll be able to go to this spot. And it's pretty straightforward. This, I don't want to say it's unintuitive, but it makes it a lot more crunchy where it's backwards than most games play. Because again, you're playing that card, you're manipulating something, you're then moving and then taking a card. It's almost like you're thinking 2 turns ahead every turn, no matter what, but you're thinking 3 to 4 turns ahead because you're doing basically 2 things with each turn. You're playing a card, manipulating all your scoring in Skyport, then you're moving, then you're doing something else, and then you're also doing that something else based upon what you want to do next turn. So it can feel unintuitive to a player that doesn't play a lot of games. But it's also what makes this game different. And it's also what makes this game incredibly crunchy, even with how light the mechanisms are. Because it's almost like you're like, whoa. I think it's a good thing, but some people might feel like it's a little, because it's hard to, hey, I'm going to play this card, then my tableau's going to look like this, and then I might be able to move up to this, and then I might be able to get this. There's a lot of things you have to sort of like picture in your head before it happens for the planning in this game, and some people are going to love that, and some people it might not rub them the right way. The brain might just not work that way. One other weird thing, it's a minor thing, is the scoring tokens for the set collection and of the icons and the airships colors. They didn't scale per player count, which I thought was interesting. They're the same ones there, so like if you're playing a 2-player game, you're just getting 2 more points than the next person. Feels like they should have like taken out that second token. And maybe put like the top one and 1, 2 down from that, and then that's it, because there's 2 players. You can only take 1 of those each anyways. I'm kind of surprised they didn't have some type of specific setup for the different player counts. Feels like that was made for the 4-player game, and they didn't scale that in the setup for the 3 or 2-player game. Minor nitpick there. Sometimes, hey, it's luck of the draw. The specific station you need might not come up. And if it does come up, it might come up when it's kind of too late in the game. That's going to happen. You're going to have to work your way around that, but that randomness might be negative for some people. Now, one of the things in this game is you have to, in the rules it says you're required to do the thing that's on there, like moving or swapping. And sometimes you have a card, you have two cards in your hand, and maybe neither of them allows you to do something great at the time. Maybe you should have planned better on the rondel, but maybe there was just the luck of the draw. It didn't matter what you took either turn. You have things that aren't going to let you do things that you want. Sometimes you're forced to sort of misalign a color by moving things around to a spot where you didn't want to have it. So now the thing that was scoring is no longer hooked up to that station, and you're going to need to figure out a way to get that back. And that might frustrate some people, but that's part of the game. So that's pretty much it. I think if you like rondel games, if you like sort of that abstract moving things around type of thing, you like special abilities, I think you'll like this. But there are some things that might trip some people up in this game, but that's also what makes this game different, which is good, and that is Grand Central Skyport. It's been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships to board games by helping you buy the next one you love. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, being the one table to rule them all with Game Toppers, leg kits, dining covers, premium game mats, and more. In their 5.0 Kickstarter, they found a way to deflate prices to pre-pandemic levels without sacrificing their quality brand, and in some cases by $200, plus dropping the shipping price as much as 50%, saving another $100. Go to GameToppersLLC.com to late pledge now.